Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be doing another coaching session for Dylan. One of the greatest supporters of the channel. Always learning, always getting more coaching sessions. By the way, Dylan can confirm this or not in the comments, but I'm pretty sure at one point in Season 7, Dylan was Bronze 5, and now he's reached at least Gold 5. Now, I'm not saying it's entirely because Dylan does a lot of coaching sessions on the channel, but I'm saying that it probably has something to do with it, at least. So, I think the coaching sessions can make a really big deal. But anyways, I just think that's a good... Dylan's a perfect story for coaching sessions and just the kind of improvements that you can make to your play. And I can say personally, playing with him every Tuesday, he's a member. We'll talk about this when we get near the end about what the membership system is, if you want to join or not. I will say I can definitely see a huge improvement in his play over the course of the seasons. Dylan's been with us for quite a while. Anyways, Dylan is moving out, looking into the mid lane and the ADC roles now to kind of round out his play. He still likes to play support a lot, of course, but he's checking out other stuff too. So we're going to check out a Kass game for him here. So the runes, and this is kind of an interesting one as well. So I'm not going to do the op.gg review that it says here, although it says op.gg review right there. I'm just going to talk really quickly about the runes, like build order, and then like what you should max. I assume he probably looked this stuff up and is pretty close to what I have here. But Dylan uploaded as a YouTube video, and we actually are going to watch his draft and talk about the draft picks. And, you know, what I'm thinking about during the draft and what I think about picking Kassadin and where he picked Kassadin. So that will take, you know, an extra 5 or 10 minutes to go through that. But I think that's cool and interesting because you don't see that in a lot of these videos that just have the replay, which is fine. I love the normal replays as well. But it is kind of cool to be able to comment on the draft also, and what I would be thinking about during the draft. So in order to get some time for that extra 10 minutes there, then I'm not going to talk as much about the op.gg. In general, I prefer Comet. There's a lot of variants to Kassadin. You always go sorcery into precision. And I think you always want Presence of Mind and Coup de Grace. And let me explain how this works with Presence of Mind, because I've had people say on the channel that they don't get how this works. And this is part of what makes Kassadin really overpowered right now. I'm going to pull up Kassadin. I know Dylan's probably aware of this, but just for people watching the video who may not be aware of this interaction, I know because people comment on it and say, that's not how that works. Yes, it is. Okay, so what Presence of Mind says, if we look at it here, and it's something that you don't see a lot, but you will see some. Here we go. And they just buffed it. You restore mana equal to 100% of your mana expended for 7 seconds whenever you score a champion takedown or level up. Takedown is a kill or an assist, and of course level up is a level up. Okay? Now, it is not a reduced mana cost, so you need to be able to cast the spell. You have to have the mana to cast the spell. Okay, so that's important to recognize. So with some champions, you know, this is kind of like, oh, whatever, you know, you get to cast a couple of free spells. I think this could be really good on people who can blow through a ton of mana, like Cassiopeia primarily. I think could be really good at mid lane with this on a really good cast player. And I've talked about this in past videos, but yeah, like Cassiopeia could be good on this. Like Karthus, in theory, could be good with this. Maybe Rise. A lot of champions could be good with it. But Kassadin is the #1 offender. And here's the reason. Because his Rift Walk is gated by the mana cost. Okay, so what I mean by that, I use the term gated in a lot of my videos. It means that that is the crux upon which it is balanced. So that is the centerpiece. That's the thing that holds it back from being overpowered. Okay, that's the easiest way to say it, okay? Gating means that's what's holding it back from being overpowered. Okay, that's the thing that moderates that ability so that it's not too over the top. Okay, is the mana cost. So when you take away the mana cost, it becomes absurd. All right, so it gets up to 800 mana. So you can cast it. It stacks up to 4 times. So it goes from 50 cost, 100, 200, 400, 800. And its 5th plus is 800. So it goes 1, and then it gets up to 4 additional stacks. So that means you get up to this amount of damage. So you get up to 360, 70% AP, 6% of your maximum mana. Not remaining mana, maximum mana. And it's important to note that at level 16, this is 2 seconds. So when you hit Presence of Mind, as long as you have at least 800 mana in your mana pool and you spam this, it's all free for 7 seconds. And so you get to 800. Someone was like, oh, but when you hit the next one at 1600, you're not going to have that much mana. It never hits 1600. It stops at 800. It says it right there. 5th plus. You could do this 20 times, and it's still only going to cost 800 mana. And as long as you have 800 mana in your mana pool, then you get it. So basically, every 2 seconds, you can, once you get a few items, you can do like 600, 700 damage and have a flash every 2 seconds. You can just constantly just keep blinking around on top of people with this. And there's no cooldown. There's no cooldown on this ability. So as long as you get a kill or an assist every 7 seconds, like in theory, you could have this up for 35 seconds. Somewhere thereabouts, right? So, if you get the first kill, takes you 7 seconds to get the next kill, you're running someone down, takes you 7 seconds to get the next kill, so on and so forth, up to 35 seconds. Now, that's not likely, but you can certainly easily get to like 14 seconds of uptime in a fight. And that's ridiculous. So for 14 seconds, you can flash every 2 seconds, basically, and deal like 700 damage on a flash. That's just one little dinky rune that does that. So that's what makes Kassadin. That's part of what makes him really overpowered, especially in the mid to late game. It's 4 seconds at level 11. But you can just constantly just blink around and kill people. And usually he can't do it that often. He can do it once or twice for reasonable mana, and then he has to wait the 15 seconds before he can do it again. So that's what's supposed to try to balance him, is that, he only has 3 free flashes, that are on a really short cooldown. Then he has to wait 15 seconds. Well, now he has, a lot more than he should. Okay, so that's how that interaction works. Now, if you don't have 800 mana, if you're out of mana, then it won't work. But as long as you have 800 mana, it will work. All your other spells are free too during that uptime, by the way. But that's the big one, is because he gets to keep flashing. Because usually he can't do it enough because he's just going to run out of mana. But that's not the case when that's going on. Okay, and then Coup de Grace just gives him a little bit of extra execution damage, which is really nice. Okay. Scorch, standard. In theory, there could be some builds where you would want to go like Gathering Storm, but you're going to be so powerful anyways in the late game that it's not going to matter. You just want that early game Scorch. Now, this is where there is some disagreement, and some people will run Airy instead of Comet. Airy is more consistent damage, but Comet is bigger damage. I prefer Comet, but, there's a split opinion about this. As you see, it's about 50-50. People go Comet, people go Airy. At least pro players. So, no one has quite figured that out yet, but I prefer Airy. I just think Airy is just bigger damage, bigger burst damage, and I think that's what Kassadin is. He's all in burst. You want to make sure you kill somebody. I think that's just what Comet does. And when you go in and you cast your E on somebody, they're going to be slowed and Comet's going to hit them. So I would probably just prefer Comet. Especially before the Airy nerf, yes, it was Airy. But after the Airy nerf, I'm pretty sure it's Comet. So Airy is for early game harassment, better early game harassment. And then Comet is better late game. Okay, now you have a choice here. Mana Flow Ban or Ultimate Hat. Ultimate Hat is cool. You get 15% cooldown on your ult. It's already on a really low cooldown, though. It's already going to be 4 seconds. So yeah, that's like an extra half a second or something at level 11, if you get that. Which is cool. But, once again, I don't know. I mean, that is good. It's good. So if you think you can get away with Ultimate, it's basically, do you think you can get away with it? And the question, sorry, I had to blow my nose there. I think I'm getting a cold that my daughter brought home from daycare. But if you think you can get away with Ultimate Hat, do it. However, Mana Flow Ban will help you a lot in the laning phase, particularly before you get your Catalyst. Sometimes there are some rough lanes. You might have to farm with your Q. It does help you last hit with your obviously with your Q, with your W, and then you can land a little bit of harassment for the Comet. It's just really nice for your mana in lane. So this is kind of for laning phase if you're against a bit of a tougher lane. If you're against kind of a pushover lane, you can go ulti hat. There's not really a consensus on that either. I saw people going both. I think slightly more people went ulti hat. So either one of those is fine. And Celerity Transcendence is a very similar thing to this dilemma. If you have a really easy lane, I think you can go Transcendence and then just wait on that to kick in at level 10 to give you 10% CDR, which is quite nice. But Celerity is much better early. It lets you get back to lane first in tough lanes. Helps you roam faster because you get that 3% move speed. The AP really doesn't matter that much. You're getting it for the extra 3% move speed, which translates into like 11 or 12 thereabouts flat move speed. So it's like half a boot. Maybe 100 and 150, 175 gold value. So it just depends. A lot of people differ on that. I think Transcendence is the more popular one, but that doesn't become relevant until level 10. Once again, Kassin's already going to be really strong once he gets to level 10. So, you know, these are really good, but I feel like they're overkilling because you're already going to be supremely powerful if you start to get to, you know, 2 items kind of in the mid to the late game. So I would rather shore up his early game with Mana Flow and Celerity. But, you know, both of these are legit. Build order, and this is pretty established. Like, you can't really vary from this too much. He's a very linear champion in terms of build order. It's Rod of the Ages, Lichbane, always. First, second item, no matter what's happening, that's what you get. After that, most people get Hourglass. If you're just really crushing it, you could get Void Staff, potentially, and then get Hourglass after that. And then you get Death Cap as your final item. I think you would want to max your Q, E, W. Some people will max E second. E is very conditional. E is good for team fights because there's going to be people around you constantly casting spells. So you can cast this more. And this does give slows, which is pretty nice. It's only a 1 second slow. But you have to get 6 charges. That means people around you have to cast like 6 spells for this to recharge. This just recharges naturally. Also, it gives you a shield. So this is your defensive item. So it does basically the same damage, 180 versus 185. This is AoE, though, in a small cone. But this gives you a much bigger shield to protect you so you don't die in fights. And this is point click. Has slightly longer range. And obviously it's way better in one-on-one when you're trying to sneak up and just assassinate people because you don't have to rely on this getting charges for this. So if you think you're going to be like running around in team fights, maybe you could level up Force Pulse, but I think most people do Null Sphere first. And whichever one of these you don't level up first, level it second, and then level your Netherblade last. And then obviously your Riftwalk, whenever's available. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. I just wanted to explain kind of the basics because a lot of people probably haven't seen me cover Kassadin on the channel that much. And I know I get questions all the time when I'm complaining about Kassadin Presence of Mind. People don't understand how that works, so I wanted to just break that down. Okay, so we're going to watch this real quickly. And give some comments on the draft and what I think they're doing, what your team should do. Okay. Yeah, teleport. Like I said, I like Comet, and then I approve of the Mana Flow and Celerity because that's early game. I really think you should go Presence of Mind. I mean, the takedown is nice. You know, chaining when you get a lot of kills, but I think Presence of Mind is just too overpowered. Like, I feel like you have to get that in team fights. It's just ridiculous. So I would definitely go Presence of Mind. I don't think it's too cute. I mean, some people might say, well, that's just too cute, you know, but I really don't think so, especially with 7 seconds of uptime. It used to be 5 before this patch, and they just buffed it to 7. Now, this might have been recorded before 7.24, but even at 5 seconds, I think you still should have gone Presence of Mind. The other one is nice because it does give you health, so it is still kind of a snowball-y effect. But it just doesn't give you the same kind of duration of power. Okay. So no crowd control from the AD carry position. That's good. Rammus can give you some good pressure early, potentially, to help keep the whoever they pick in the mid lane off of you. With Kassadin, what we're looking for here is obviously an AP mage middle and someone who doesn't have a lot of crowd control and someone who is not going to punish you a lot early. So it could be Vlad. Vlad could also go top. Kassadin's great into Vlad if he goes middle. Yeah, there we go. There we go, baby. Crank it up. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Keep presence in mind. No, no. Coup de grace. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly how I drew it up. No, 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 no. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, I know the boots are tempting. Presence of mind's too strong. Don't do it. If you're gonna do that, do boots. Yeah, it's Vlad middle. No, no, no. You gotta do it. That's the whole reason to play Kassadin right now. Well, not the whole reason, but... Okay, so let's discuss this real quickly. He already has pretty low cooldown on his abilities. You don't need this. The boots are really nice. That's about a 400 gold value. That's the best thing in the inspiration secondary are the boots. You get free boots, which are 300 gold value. You get 50 gold off the upgrade. That's 350. And then you get 10 movement speed, which I did the math once. I don't remember exactly what it came out to. But it's a little over 400 to get the extra 10 move speed worth of value and stats. So that, you know, if you're going to do this, this is also going to rot in your inventory for a while. I mean, it is okay. It will help you against a Vlad ultimate. You are eventually going to build Hourglass, but the thing is, that's going to be really late in the game, probably. That's going to be like 20, 25 minutes. And it is 600 gold off at 25 minutes. But, you know what's also 600 gold? Getting an extra 2 kills because you have presence of mind, and you can flash infinitely in a team fight just about to run down all of the stragglers. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do this, you know, I would go for the boots and then the Hourglass, but everybody goes for the presence of mind. It's that strong. I mean, if we look at, like, pretty much everybody is going to go for this presence of mind coup de grace. He didn't, actually. He went for second wins. That must have been a really tough lane. Yeah, he's against Lucian. Okay, fair enough. So, you know, he's against a very... That's probably one of the worst matchups you can draw up for Kassadin. So that's understandable. But under, like, most circumstances... Well, Peanut doesn't know what the hell's going on mid lane. I mean, obviously he's a pro player. He knows what's going on, but... That's another one where they picked something really weird. Like, they picked a Jhin against him. So, you know, if you're against an AD carry middle, you got to improvise a little bit. But the vast majority of people are going to go for this. Presence of mind. I mean, there's Shifter. And then even over here, if we look at Champion.gg, it's pretty much both builds go for that. This one doesn't. But anyways, I think that's what you should go. No one's going Inspiration. Inspiration is a good bargain, but... Okay, let's talk about the picks. We've got Xayah. Zen has early pressure, so you got to watch out for that. Rammus can beat him up, though. Okay, so you could definitely have some kill pressure bottom. They don't have a lot of escape, so if they have a ward up and, like, a fight breaks out bottom, you should be able to teleport down there and get some kills. I think Poppy's going to be able to beat Garen top. It's Electrocute Poppy, though. Like, if that was Grasp Poppy, I'd feel a lot better about that. Grasp Poppy with TP. But... okay. So Vlad doesn't have any CC, which is good. So he should just do a farm off with you early, I think. Which is fine. I still haven't looked up how to do the changes here. Sound pretty funny. Okay. We'll go through this first part. Yeah, it's kind of a greedy start, but I think that's okay. You don't get the mana back on killing a minion, though, which is kind of rough. Oh, God. Okay, they got invaded. So just make sure that you don't get flanked here. Like, when you're pushing up, just be careful. Because they're probably going to come from, like, right over here. Okay, they TP'd in. Ping the TP. Probably not going to matter too much. I'm going to keep this up a little bit. Now, watch your flank here. And then I'm just going to rewind if something happens, because this is just going to be a farm lane. This will let us spend a bit more time in the team fights, but yeah. You just want to throw some Qs at him every now and then. Stay out of the range of his Q as much as possible, especially when it's empowered, so just watch his bar. And once that hits full, you need to back up. Don't let him get a free... Okay, good. Watch out for the minions. Okay. Be careful for Zen. Now you freeze it. Hold on, let me pause it. Let's slow it down here. Okay, so you just want to farm here. Zen is powerful. Rammus is really far behind. He got killed. So you don't want to push it up here. Okay, good. So try to freeze here. Last hit this minion. Okay, good. Now don't hit these. Wait, no. Don't hit these. Yeah, just hold them right here. Hold him. Just only last hit. The reason I'm telling you that is if you push up right now, because Rammus is so far behind, Zen could come up and kill you, and you don't have any ward coverage. Rammus is not warding for you, and you haven't dropped your ward yet. So, yeah, there he is. Yep. So now you have to flash. That's exactly what I was talking about. So let me rewind and show you like what you could have done there. Prof the Prophet. He's going to gank you. Everyone wants to kill Kass in pre-6 because they know you're a sitting duck. So what you can do here is just count the minions. Look, okay, they have 4 plus a cannon. You have 3 plus a cannon. Or they have 5 plus a cannon, okay? So you just want to last hit these and try to get the minion wave to sit right here. Now, it is a delicate dance to do, but it's something you need to be aware of and try to practice. Especially if you're going to try these solo lanes like mid lane and top lane, wave management is even more important than it is in the bot lane. I talk about it a lot in the bot lane as well. And as a support, you don't have as much control over the wave because if your AD carry is just going to auto-attack the wave, there's not a lot you can do about that. But mid lane, you have full control over it. And it's very important mid lane to control it because there's so many gank paths. Right? Mid is the easiest lane to gank because you're not going to have a lot of wards. Probably, and they can come at you from 2 different sides. Like there's so many angles that he can come from over here, he can come here, here, so many places. So if you're in a lane where you are a very vulnerable champion that does not have an escape Kassadin pre-6, then you need to try to freeze it at your tower. Now we see Zen up here. I actually didn't see him when I was telling you to freeze it, but there's a very, very high probability that he's going to be, you know, because he could be anywhere. Like, he could be on either side of the jungle and still be a threat to you if he rotates up the river. So if you start pushing it up, then he's going to come in and kill you. Now, Vlad doesn't have any CC, so that's good, but what you want to do is just sit here and just last hit these. So don't use your E. Just last hit them. Right here. That's perfect. Perfect. Okay, so if you just did not E here, if you just let them push into this, and then once this gets up closer, then you last hit this, then the next wave that comes in would be frozen right here. Because it's perfectly even right now. Not perfectly, but it's pretty close. It's slightly pushing into you because your cannon is lower and your backline minion is lower. But it's pretty dang close. It's still 3 ranged and a cannon to 3 ranged and a cannon. So yeah, if you didn't E that, you would have been fine. But now that you eat it, it's going to make it a lot harder. You see how he's just getting like randomly a lot more aggressive too against you? Even though he doesn't have potions left? That's because he's trying to soften you up for Zen. And there's Zen. Yeah. So that's the thing, is now you're down a flash. And now it's pushing towards them, so if he wants to freeze it, I don't know if they're going to do that in this elo, but if he wants to freeze it, he could freeze it outside of his tower, and that's a nightmare scenario, because then that's going to force you, if you want any farm to walk up that lane, to try to last hit near his tower without your flash versus Zen as a jungler. So if that's the case, you need to call in Rammus. If he does that, you need to call in Rammus and say, hey, bro, I'm getting zoned. Help me push this in a tower, please. And just get him to show up. He didn't do that, though. So, yeah, I believe this game's played at Silver. At Silver, they're not going to pay attention to wave management. Freeze it right here. Freeze it right here. Okay, so do not hit these. Just stop. Only last hit him. Okay. Right here, yeah. Okay, now you got a good freeze going on. Now if he backs, he's going to lose a lot. Okay, kill a couple of them, kill a couple of them. You're not going to kill him. Don't worry about harassing him. Just get good CS. Like, in a farm lane like this, the harassment is just like a bonus. If you get... No. You don't have your ult. Zen could, like, flash dash on you. Yeah, just keep it right there. Yeah, you don't want to... You see how he's standing right next to this bush? That's like a red flag that Zen's probably in that bush. Don't hit it. Don't hit it. Don't hit it. Just keep it. Let it push into you. See how he's missing all this CS? No. Don't. Oh, it's so scary. Don't last hit. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. No. Keep it. If you push this... Yeah, you do have your ult now, so it is slightly safer, but... Here's the thing. If it pushes in... I know the thought process, especially from the bot lane, which I believe is where you have most of your experiences, whenever they back, you want to push in. But if you have a good freeze setup like that, that denies them CS. As it comes in... Now, this is bad. This is a bad time to, like, roam. Because it's pushing into him. Like, you just lost probably like 3 or 4 CS, maybe more. Okay, now, once you get this all the way into his tower, then you can maybe roam and backdoor bottom. I would actually do that. Okay, leave. Roam. Take right down this back alleyway. Zen's right there. He's at Raptors. I think you could kill him. Now, I don't... You need to tab and see what their items are. So, when Vlad backs, you have a couple of options here. I need to write this stuff down so that I don't forget. But when Vlad backs, you have a couple of options. Either you push extremely hard immediately and then go roam bottom, or you just keep it frozen where you had it and deny him like 2 minion waves. Okay. He's going for, like, Proto Belt or something first, it looks like, so that's fine. He's going to be a lot stronger until you get your Rod, so just watch out for that. You just want to farm him. Your W is an auto-attack reset, so you can He just DC'd? Yeah, run him down. That means that you auto and then press W again, and he'll auto again immediately after that. And that's a really good tool for last hitting under tower. Okay, push this as fast as you can. And then roam bottom. Well, never mind. That's not happening. You're never going to kill Garen top, so that's not even on the table. And you got to understand, Zen's not going to go up either, because they're not going to kill Poppy. So that's just a wet noodle fight top. So... Okay, he's TPing back in. That's a good roam. You might be able to clean him up. You need to really start looking down here. There you go. No, don't. Okay. There's not a lot you can do about that. I mean, you could Blast Plant over... You need to look and see how low she is, because you could, in theory, come over here and Blast Plant over this blue and then come down through the Tri-Bush and attack her, but it's most likely a waste of time. They're on the rag, baby. On the drag. Yeah, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. But you are Kassadin, so if you just farm up... Kassadin is hard to farm with, but you need to try to get to 70. Like, if you... No, you can't fight him. Yeah, you're not going to beat him till you get a rod. They're going to 3-man middle. Yeah, tell Rammus to hold. Yeah, you still go rod. Don't ever go anything other than rod on him. Even if you're behind. I guess if you haven't completed your rod by like 25 minutes or something, if you're just getting like completely bulldozed, maybe think about getting GLP, but like 99% of the time, just go rod if you can get it. You know, around 15 minutes or less. What is his CS? Okay. I'm gonna say freeze wave. Versus aggro jungler. Now if he flash taunts, you can kill him. Zen was top, right? Y'all, I feel like you could have maybe chased him more, but that's fine. Maybe he was rotating down there. Freeze wave versus aggro jungler. Yeah, you need Rod before you can 1v1 him. He has too much health and lifesteal. You're not going to be able to 1v1 him. Vlad might be a good pick in a Kassadin. I don't know. I mean, you'll overtake him later. But for the first, like, couple of items, he might be stronger. I'm not exactly sure of that specific matchup, but you can use your W to auto-attack reset if you want to, but I guess you're holding it. Yeah, just run. Why is he... Oh, he's got his potion going. Yeah, you need to really focus on getting the CS. Like, the harassing him early is good, but, you know, just throw a Q at him and that's it. And then, make sure, like, the #1 priority as Kassadin and a lot of mid laners is farm. You just gotta farm. Because that's free gold. You know, every, like... Is it... like 20 CS or so, a little bit less than 20 CS is roughly equal to a kill. Like between 15 to 20 CS is a kill in farm. depending on which minions you're killing. Well, the problem is Zen is also bottom. This guy's tripping, but, like, they can't win a 3v3 bottom. You do have your teleports. You need to be watching down there. There's a ward there, too. So if Rammus goes down there, you need to be ready for that. Zen's going to be there, too, though. Because Zen doesn't have to go top, because Poppy's getting smashed. So basically, it's like only half of the map matters. It's just mid and bot for both teams. So you got to be aware of that. Okay, yeah, go ahead and TP down. TP down. TP on that ward. TP on the ward. TP on the ward. Now Zen could be in this tri-bush. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run. You're both gonna die. Yeah. Yeah. See, that was too late. If you TP'd down there, you could have cleaned them up before Zen got there. So yeah, you really, really needed a TP on that. You could have been there before. Like, I know you're thinking that you want to save. I know you want to save your TP because it's a valuable summoner, and you're just thinking, well, if I can run down there. But the thing is, like, even if you get that, like Garen or Vlad or whoever is going to be knocking away at your mid tower, you're going to have to TP back to middle anyways. So you might as well just TP bottom and then walk back to middle, because it's the same thing if you think about it logistically, right? Like, run down there. It takes X amount of time to run down there, and then TP back. Or TP down there, and then it's going to take the same amount of time, because it's the same distance, to run back to middle. But it's more important that you get bottom faster. Does that make sense? So it's the same amount of time. If you're doing the same route, if you're walking the same route from one place to another, then it's the same distance, right? You're walking up the river one time, either way. But if you TP down there, then you get there faster for the first part, and then you have to walk back up for the second part. So, same amount of time to get back to your original spot in middle, but you get to show up bottom a lot faster. So yeah, I would have TP'd on that ward immediately. Like, when I said to do it, like, once Rammus starts showing up there, I would just do it. Make sure you get all those kills. And then you can rotate back before Vlad can take tower. Okay, so don't fight until you have Rod. Yeah, you really got to practice using this TP to somewhere other than lane, too. Especially kind of, you know, like 10 minutes plus. Because you know everybody's going to keep dogpiling bottom. That's the only place they can go. That's the last tier 1 left. And for a while now, top has been irrelevant, so... I'll go look at her. I'm working. I can look in a little bit, but see what's up. All right. You know, I have TP for 40. Items look good. I assume you're going Lichbane next. Yeah, and you want to get the Sheen first on the Lichbane. Now, they're all going to be bottom. You need control ward. You need like a control ward on the map at all times. See, this is the problem with Hourglass, is it's just going to rot in your inventory right now. Like, it's not doing anything. And you're not going to complete... you're not going to complete Hourglass until like 25, 30 minutes. And you really need more wards on the map right now. So the support's not really warding. Like, no one's grabbing control wards, so you have to be that hero. You need at least the standard control ward somewhere in like a bush around middle. Okay, help him, help him, help him. I would have saved one of your jumps to get on him to hurt him. Just don't forget your R actually does hurt quite a bit if you land directly on top of him. You need to tell Poppy to chill. She lost 1v1 top with Ignite against the teleport person. She has Electrocute and he has Grasp. Like, I mean, yeah, she's not going to be able to beat Garen anyways, probably, but, you know. Anyways, that doesn't matter. Okay, so bot's dead. Let's push up middle. It's a problem. Okay, push this up and then go rotate over to bottom. Just tell him something like, we can win. It's okay, guys. Just chill. We can win. I need to put that on one of my t-shirts, too. I need to get this merch. Like, I need to, you know, need to get some stuff going. Hopefully over winter break I can get some of that started up. Yeah, just, well, okay, you do have TP. Look at it. Look at the TP. See, this is the quandary right now, because you've got that stopwatch in there eating up your inventory slots. You're not sure what to get rid of. Like, in theory, it is cool to say, okay, you know, I get 600 gold off of Hourglass, but in actual practice, it just takes too long, and it eats up an inventory slot for a long time. Yeah, just go farm. Well, don't freak out on them too much. Just tell them, like, hey guys, we need to get bot lane. I mean, I feel your frustration. And I don't know, like, this might have been the 6th game in a row where people were just running around. It's a zoo, you know, but try your best to... It's okay to tell them, like, to direct them, but try to be as positive as you can be. I try to do as much as I can. I know sometimes I'm not always the poster child for that, but... Yeah. Use that control word in the river. I mean, you can use it right there if you want, but I would put it, like, right here. But you can't do it through Vlad. Or here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Blitz has, like... I mean, drag warding is fine, I guess. But, yeah, someone needs to ward Baron. But there's really no point in face checking that, though. Like, I don't mind going down and just seeing if people are walking around, sort of, because they don't have... Their engage is not that great. But, yeah, don't actually poke your head in Baron. Because, your team's not going to be able... If they're there doing it, you're just going to die, and your team's not going to be able to do anything about it. You know, because no one was in position. Okay, can you fight him at drag? You pick these two off? I would ping it. I would say get him. Because there's 2 on drag right now. You guys could have forced, in theory, you could have forced a 4v2. If Blitz or Rammus. Like, you have really good engage. Skirmishing engage. You don't have a great, like, 5v5 engage, but you have a good skirmishing. Yeah, get down there, get down there. I think you're backing too much for small items. Like, I do like backing, but you're giving up some map position. Like, before when they were running around chasing people, you could have rotated down earlier instead of backing to kill them. And, like, right there, you could have been with them and maybe picked up a couple of kills. So I think you're probably backing a little too much. Like, of course you do want to spend your gold, but... You know, if it's like you get an Aether Wisp here, or you could potentially rotate down and like pick off a couple of people. You know, so I would only... If it's like go to a team fight or back and pick up an Aether Wisp or a Blasting One, just go to the team fight and then get the other thing later. Like if you're completing a big item like Rod or Lichbane, then yeah, maybe it's a stronger consideration to go ahead and complete that item. But if it's just a smaller like component, you might want to consider just waiting to make sure you're at that fight. Now, Zaya's not here. So I'm going to say go to more fights. Rather than back for components. I mean, yeah, they don't have a lot of crowd control, so... Like, later in the game, you could just go off. Now, if you had presence of mind, you'd go off a lot harder, but you could still go off without it. And now that stopwatch is about to pay off, baby. It'll be like 35 minutes. I mean, I say this because I tried it too several times, like on Fiddlesticks and other champions. Now, that's a place where I think it could be a good item is on those rare champions that you're going to get Hourglass, like, first item, or maybe even second item. Then it could be good, you know, on your champions like Fiddlesticks or Kennen or whatever. I feel like you could have killed Vlad, but that's fine. Okay, good. I mean, at least Poppy's trying. Like, she's talking all kinds of trash and wants to surrender, but she's at least trying to win. That's an upgrade to a lot of games that I see in Platinum. At least she's trying to win. Yeah, she got smash top, and she's blaming the jungler, and she's wanting to quit. But you know what? At least she's trying to win. She's not just, like, AFK split pushing to death, or, like, sitting in fountain, or, like, suiciding into them. So I'll give her that. She has kind of a weak mentality, but she's at least trying. People just give up too easily. I mean, I think statistics are ruining our country. People just think if you're not favored, if you're not the statistical favorite, then all of a sudden you lose. It's like, no, man, statistics are wrong all the time. Okay, good, great. Well, maybe not. She's pretty fed. What are her items? You need to be keeping track of their items so you know who to go for. Okay, yeah, she's 7 and 2. Yeah, you might want to just hang out in the back and just whittle away, like, the tanks at that point. Before you get the Hourglass. Like, once you get the Hourglass, you can be a bit more aggressive with her, but... Huh. Wait, why are you pinging Brahms Ruby? Get one of these. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, comebacks happen all the time. Yeah, Vegas odds would be on them winning right now. And when they were like, you know, 1 and 7 or something, sure. But, you know, you could still win, especially with Kassadin. I mean, Kassadin and Poppy, in theory, I don't know what Poppy's building, but Kassadin's really good late game. Poppy's good. Zaya's great. Nice. This is the Kassadin power. So I'm writing check tab items more. So like when you went on the misfortune, for example, she like almost 3-shot you or something because she's 7 and 2. So you just need to make sure that, you know, probably Hourglass would have saved you there. All right, so you got your Hourglass at like 29-30 with 7 kills. Now, yeah, your team doesn't have a lot of global gold, but this is... I don't know about that. I think in that situation, I would have probably just walked middle. No. I guess. No, you need to wait on these guys to start it. And you can't one-shot her until you get like one more item.
An ally has been slain.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. But no one else was there. You know, you gotta wait. Yeah, they just weren't there. You have to wait on Rammus and Blitz to start fights. Like, I know as Kassadin, it's like, oh man, like, you can almost delete her, but unless you can fully delete her, like, I just wouldn't do it.
An ally has been slain.
And that can be one of the frustrating things when you're playing, you know, an assassin and tanks don't. Tanks don't really start fights.
Enemy killing spree.
Especially if your flash is not up. If your flash is up, maybe if you can force her flash and then you flash, maybe you could do it. But... You got her. I think you're snowballing too hard for her, or you're funneling too hard for her. Yeah, she is the major threat, but you're also the major threat for your team, so you need to stay alive. You don't have to go like super all in, you know. You can just like dash forward and just W E her and then walk away. Yeah, you're on drugs. Yeah, try not to say too much to him. You gotta understand that, like, at Silver, a lot of people are gonna make a lot of mistakes, both itemization and in terms of positioning. They're gonna make a lot of mistakes too, right? So they're not gonna itemize correctly. They're gonna be out of position. That's just how it is. Just as you know, step down the ELO bracket, you know, there's just going to be more mistakes from everybody, and you just got to learn how to play around that. And Kassadin's a great way to do it. But yeah, you can't be shocked if your team's making a lot of mistakes in Silver. I know, like, on your main account, you used to playing in Gold. It's going to be a little different, and I struggle with this too when I'm playing in Platinum, and then I have to step down into Gold, or when I was Diamond and I had to step down into low Platinum. In Season 6, it's tough to adjust because it just seems like there's so many mistakes everywhere. But you gotta do it. Especially when you watch my stream all the time, you're gonna notice, you know, I point out a lot of stuff too, so then you start seeing it, you just can't unsee it after a while. Yeah, I think you're going too hard for her. Just leave her alone. I think just back up there and go mess with Garen. I think you're funneling too hard on Misfortune.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Like, you gotta have a bit more finesse. I thought y'all were actually gonna come back and win this. It was close. Huh. But it's okay with Kassadin to have more finesse. So to go in, use your combo, and then just walk out just to soften people up. Okay. Alright, so how long did that end up being? About an hour. Okay, that's good. Okay, so post-game, wait, what's... Oh, it's moving on to the next game. We'll get to that one soon enough. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so we've got, so I talked about this a lot. You need to freeze the lane, especially against an aggro jungler, especially if you have no kill threat in lane. You're not going to kill Vlad pre-6. It's never going to happen. So without Rammus coming in. And also, if you freeze the lane outside your tower, that's something I didn't even mention, that if Vlad wants to come up for CS, then all of a sudden he's in danger of Rammus coming up and ganking him. So freezing it outside of your lane pre-6 is like the best position you can possibly have it in. So yeah, I mean, ideally, if you can keep it somewhere between like here and like here, that's the best place. Because then Zen's not going to be able to gank you very easily. So it protects you from Zen, and it also, if Vlad wants to come up, it exposes him to Rammus coming in. So that's kind of the best position, and that's how it is in most fights mid lane. If you can get it to freeze just outside your tower, that's the best position. Because it really exposes them to the jungler. So you almost never want to just blind push it in, especially early on. Unless you have help from your jungler, or unless you're a pretty safe champion that can also push. Like maybe Talia or something like that can like push in really hard. But I think most of the time, most champions either want to try to keep it in the middle or keep it slightly on their side. Now you don't want to get pushed in all the way to your tower. But there's that sweet spot between like here and here. If you can just get the wave to freeze and just last hit it right there, that's perfect. So you just want to try to keep the numbers even right there. Or maybe slightly in the enemy's favor so that it pushes into you. And that's the best position to be in terms of your lane in the mid lane most of the time. Okay, so you don't want to fight until you have a superior power spike. And a lot of this just comes from practice mid lane and just understanding matchups. Like, you're not going to beat Vlad, certainly one-on-one, until you get Rod of the Ages. So he's just going to out-sustain you. You know, you're not going to have enough damage to burst him, and he's going to heal up through the lane, and you're not. So you need to have Rod of the Ages and farm it up. And you probably still need Rammus's help. He seems to be pretty good into Kassadin on the first, 2 or 3 items. After that, Kassadin takes over, I think. But just keep that in mind. You need at least Rod of the Ages before you can fight him. So your goal there is just to farm. To use your W as an auto reset, I didn't see you do this sometimes, but basically what it means is you attack a minion, and then you W onto the minion, and he attacks, and then immediately attacks again, so you get 2 attacks. And that helps you last hit minions easier, that helps you kill wards faster, that helps you take down towers faster. So just always anything that has an auto attack reset, you want to be abusing that as much as you can. So in theory, your all-in combo with Kassadin would probably be, RN, Q, auto W, you auto, then you W for a second auto, and then E, and then back out. And that's probably your all-in combo. Use your TP bot more to make plays, especially that one play where I talked about where you had a great TP ward behind them. They were overextended and Rammus was coming in. That could have been a massive play of the game. Like if your team got those 2 kills and then turned around and got bot tower, that could have been a big, big turning point of the game. So that's how I probably would have done that. But yeah, just in general, you TP'd back to lane almost every time. Try to get those TPs to one of the side lanes. It had to be bot lane because top lane was getting murdered. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Vlad can't stop your TP, but you know you can always go out of vision as well, so they don't see it coming. Yeah, you want to buy components. So yeah, you want to buy like Blasting One, Aether Wisp, stuff like that, if you have a chance. But there were several times where you could have just rotated and showed up at the fight, and then maybe cleaned up some kills. Because Vlad is awesome at chasing down and cleaning up kills. Or not Vlad, Kass. Vlad's okay at it, but Kass is really good at it. So I would have just shown up and just see what you can get. I mean, maybe you pick somebody off. Maybe you turn a couple of fights. Like, I think you were just farming and then just backing every time you could get any item. Which is okay, but that takes you off the map a lot. Like, you lose all of your presence, you lose all of your wave pressure, and you're just not showing up to enough fights in the mid-game. So I would recommend, you know, if you have a choice, go back to Blasting Wand or spend, you know, 5 to 10 seconds rotating bot side towards your blue or something just to see if you can pick off a kill or two after people are hurt. Now, a lot of this was kind of rough because you didn't have very good vision that game. Blitz wasn't really warding that much. You need to ward more with control wards. I think I put that down. Use more control wards and your 2-minute ward, or your 1-minute ward or whatever. But yeah, try to go and at least show up at these things because you're really mobile. Like, you should be able to jump over walls and just get there. Like, just use your first jump to just jump over the blue wall and just, you know, see what you can get. At least look down there. That's the thing, is I didn't even see you look down there a lot of time. So, because you have the camera lock on. So if you're here and there's a bunch of people fighting over here, just at least click over here and see what's happening and just see, like, who's low, what's the situation, like, who's blowing their cooldown, and just start running over here. And if it looks like you're not going to get anything, then fine, go ahead and back. But if you start running and you're like, oh, Misfortune's half health, you know, she's around right here, you know, maybe I can pop over this wall and get him, and then just ping that you're on your way and, you know, maybe try to make a play with your team. So I don't know because we didn't tab over there. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know if you had a good opportunity, but it'd be nice to just look and at least start moving that way. And then if you need to change your mind a couple seconds later, just go ahead and back, that's fine. But at least look and start moving if a fight breaks out. And then if there's opportunities, go try to get them. I think you were just too often just farming here without even looking to see what was happening down here, and then just backing to get a Blasting Water and Aether Wisp or something. Which kind of fits into this other thing that I want to talk about is... So yeah, just use your tab, check the items, check summoners. You did that some during the game, but try to do that more. Sometimes I was wondering, I was like, okay, what are these items that Misfortune has? Like, how powerful is she? You know, what are the items that Garen has? What's he building? So, you know, you just need to look in on that and just see, like, what's Vlad have? You know, does he have magic resist? What about Misfortune? Does she have magic resist? Does she have a Quicksilver Sash or anything like that? Does she have 3 items? Can she 2-shot me? You know, these are important things to keep in mind. So let the tank start the fights. Be patient. Yes, you did have some clean shots at Misfortune, but the issue is, once you are in, you don't have any escapes at that point. And you're not one-shotting her. Like, you needed 1 or 2 more items to be able to completely kill her. It's likely that Blitzcrank had, like, a Knight's Vow or a Locket or something that he was using to help her out. She may have even had the Nullifying Orb. It's likely that she probably had Nullifying Orb, so... You know, you've got to cut through Nullifying Orb, Locket. If he has Knight's Vow, I don't remember what what Braum had. It's likely that he had at least one of those items. He could also have Face of the Mountain, so he could have Face, Locket, Knight's Vow, and she could have Nullifying Orb. And you're just not gonna one-shot that, and unless you're like 6 items. So, you know, if you're not killing her immediately and they're killing you, then that's not a good trade. So you need to wait on her to get distracted. As with most assassins, you want to flank. Like, your true power is when they don't see you. So, Dragon Pit, for example. You know, everyone's kind of positioning around here. Y'all needed better vision coverage. But when you saw the Misfortune pop out of that bush, just hit her with a Q and an E and walk away. You know, you don't have to all in. is hit her with a couple of abilities. You might even auto like reset her. She's probably going to flash or run. Just let her run. She's going to be at half health. That's fine. And then just kind of hang out in the back. Hang out in the shadows. You know, see if you can come over here and just pop over this wall. See if you can, like, jump over this wall. Like, so a better play, I think, right there would be, you know, she pops out of this bush. You, if you can, just QE her immediately. If you can auto attack her with W, that's fine. If not, whatever. Run away. Drop a control ward here. And then just see if you can come over here and, like, R over this wall. And then just come up here and just wait. Wait till, like, Rammus starts a fight, Blitz starts a fight. And then as soon as that starts, then creep up over here, and while she's channeling her ult or something, then you sneak up and hit her while everyone's distracted with all these fights. So you need to be working on these flanks. And that's true even if you're Kassadin, Fizz, LeBlanc, any kind of assassin middle. You always want to flank and try to get to that back line. You don't just want to run straight at them and jump into their team like that. You know, like, Kassadin is tankier than a lot of assassins, but he's not that tanky. He's not a tank proper. So, you know, just try to go for more flanks. Don't think you always have to all in. Just a QE is fine for a little bit of poke if you catch a squishy out of position, and just wait on the other tanks to start fights. So yeah, should they have started it sooner? Absolutely. Should they have followed up a little bit faster when you went in? Sure. But you just, especially at Silver, you just can't count on people doing that. So you just have to be a little more cautious and just assume that they're going to have a slower reaction time than you'd probably like. Okay, and then I had another point that was like, don't focus Misfortune too much, but that's kind of just what I got into. It's not that you're going for Misfortune, it's that you can't kill her in one shot because she has too many defensive tools, most likely because of Braum. And, yeah, Braum can also just shield. Like, because Kass is really a one rotation spell kind of champion. Like, you go in, use your rotation, they have to die because you're going to have too many cooldowns to do much more than that. So he's really have to go in, one rotation of spells, back up, wait till your rotation's up again, and then go back in. And so, you know, once you use your rotation and she doesn't die and you're just sitting there auto-attacking, that's just not going to be enough damage most of the time. So, anyways, hope this helps. Thank you very much, Kassadin. I mean, you were close. You're very close on coming back, even though it was kind of a rough game. You definitely had some opportunities. So, that's going to be it. I got to go help my daughter. I think I don't know what's going on in there, but if you want to see more coaching videos, we've got the playlist right here. If you want to see some champion guides, I've got this right here. I've recently done a Leona guide, and I can't remember the Leona and a Soraka guide for Season 8 so far, and I'm going to be doing some more here soon. If you want to become a member, Dylan is a member. It's a lot of fun. Every Tuesday, we get together, and I just play normals with members all night. I get to try out champions that I don't usually try out. We, you know, laugh, share some jokes, have some fun. It's a great time. It's just less than a quarter a day. You get to join the awesome Discord that we have set up. People share pictures of their pets, some of their games, some memes. Just a good, fun, clean community. You get to come out and play on Tuesdays if you want, and then you can vote on champions that you want to see me play on Tuesdays as well in normal games. So if you have something that you really want to see me try out, you can go ahead and do that. So if you want to sign up for that, if you're interested, just click on the PayPal link here. Like I said, it's just $5 a month. There's no sign-up fees, no cancellation fees. Just support the channel as long as you want. And there's a lot of people that don't even come out on Tuesdays. That just like the content. They like the kind of guides that I put out. They like sort of my deep analytical analysis, my positive attitude most of the time, the fact that I cover support. No one else covers support on YouTube hardly. So there's just a lot of reasons that people like to support the channel. So you don't even have to, you know, come out to play to feel really confident, just feel good about supporting a channel that in many ways is different from a lot of other channels out there. So if you enjoy the content, if you really like it and you want to go that extra mile and just help support the channel, and definitely if you want to come out and play with us on Tuesdays, just go ahead and support. And yeah, anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you very much. As always, I greatly appreciate it, Dylan. We'll be seeing a lot more Dylan coaching videos here soon, and I have some more coming up as well. So until then, I'll see you next time. Have a great day.